Who were you before the world told you who you needed to be? Today's conversation is going to spark an awakening in you. That's my intention. It's going to light you up as it did me because I had this question presented to me earlier today and it really blew my mind. Truly, who were you before life told you who you needed to be, who you needed to be? With its programming, rhetoric, societal norms, moralities, all the things that have shaped you over the years and shaped me, if we actually sit with the question, who was I before life told me what I needed to be? The answer is not in where you think, which, by the way, I'm live on Facebook and on Instagram. So catch me on either platform. And if you have questions or thoughts, I'd love to hear. This conversation was presented to me earlier around the topic of purpose, thinking through, like, what's my purpose? And you're not going to find it in a textbook, in an astrology reading, even in a human design assessment, or any of this, heuristics or what do you take those, strategies, Myers-Briggs. Like, yes, that can point to aspects of yourself, but someone presented the idea earlier today about your purpose is hidden with who you were when you were younger. When you were in your most innocent form, the little version of you and me where our souls were just so free. We didn't have any programming or paradigms that shaped who we needed to be or told us what we needed or how we needed to behave or what we needed to look like. So I'll ask you that question. Who were you when you were young? What did you love to do? What did you enjoy spending your time on? What were you obsessed with? And so it got me thinking, and here's just a little bit of a story. Back when I was young, I was obsessed with He-Man and She-Ra. Now, I don't know, maybe this is dating me a little bit, but drop a comment below if you remember He-Man and She-Ra. They were superheroes back in the day, back in the 80s, and they fell under the umbrella of superheroes called Masters of the Universe. And I was obsessed with them. I actually thought I was She-Ra. I begged my mom and bonus dad one year, I think when I was like 6, to be She-Ra. I wanted the costume so bad, and they finally caved and like bought me the costume so that I could dress up like She-Ra in her magnificent like garb and with the sword and Masters of the Universe. How funny. Back then, I was obsessed with not like saving the world per se, but power, empowerment, strength, influence. And so I think about it now, years later, I became obsessed with universal principles, spiritual practices, mindset techniques, how deliberately creating my reality with my mind, my thoughts, my habits. And so when I think back, not only as a child did I love Masters of the Universe, but I loved creativity. I loved play. I loved being able to like dig in the dirt and like be a tomboy, but then I would also dress up as a princess and use my imagination. And so the question is, who were you before the world told you who you needed to be? All goes back to who you were when you were a child. And I hadn't thought about this before. Other people have asked me this question over the years. And I had struggled with figuring out what's my life purpose? What's my mission? And sometimes I still get tripped up on that. I have a lot of lived experience, a lot of wisdom, a lot of things I love to share. But today, when someone asked me that question, it clicked. So I hope that maybe this is planting the seed for you. As we go into the year of the fire horse, the Chinese New Year's, the energy behind that is all about new beginnings. It's a 1 year in numerology too, where all the numbers add up. 2026 all adds up to the number 1 if you keep adding them up, which the 1 year vibrationally is all about new beginnings. We're just concluding 2025, which is a 9 year vibrationally. We're also concluding the year of the snake, which is all about shedding. And so this question is powerful and important, and I invite you to journal on it, as I am and have been today, in that when you think about what you loved, what you fancied as a child, it all correlates to back to now. Like when I think about how creative I was an artist. I would design things, draw things, use puffy paint and tie dye and like create these magnificent pieces of artwork. And I would write poetry and songs. As I got older, I got away from those things because it wasn't cool, or you were told you got to be in the real world and, get a real job and make sure, all the things. Obviously, you need to, handle responsibilities, but that childlike innocence, that is guiding us to our purpose, to what lights us up, to what our path is here. And the more we can express that, the more we can share more of who we are, the more joyful and aligned we'll live. And take it from someone myself who had disconnected years ago from my body, myself, my life in general. I was so hyper fixated on being good enough and striving and struggling to like claw my way up the corporate ladder back in the day, figure out how to be good enough, how to get things. And when I came into manifestation, spirituality, working with the laws of the universe, principles of the universe that govern all of existence, my life started to rapidly improve. And so as I reflect back as a child, I loved creating and artwork. Well, I then, when I left corporate America and I got into business for myself and stumbled and tried to figure things out and failed forward, it's not been an easy road for all you entrepreneurs out there. I'm sure you can relate. But I tried and dug my hands in the sand to like figure it out. And what I realize is how I design my programs, my coaching programs, my mentorship programs, I design beautiful graphics and artwork for each program because innately the little girl in me loves creating, loves drawing, loves designing. Back when I was young, we didn't have graphics. So when graphic design came out, I was a graphic designer for almost 10 years. That was my old life, my past life. I loved making things beautiful, leaving things more beautiful and aesthetically pleasing than when I found them. And that's how I lead my life now. It's been in front of me this whole time. Creativity, beauty, universe, masters of the universe. I have this deep desire and longing to learn and grow and expand. And that's in understanding the principles of the universe, masculine, feminine energetics, freedom, liberation, becoming the best version of ourselves, mindset work, heart set work, embodiment, working with energy and energetics, because energetics trumps anything. Everything's energy in this world. Science already shows it. We can't argue, no, that's woo-woo. It's not woo-woo. It's freaking life. And until you get on board and understand how to work with both the energetic and the physical, life is very challenging. If you're only in the matrix, if you're only in the 3D matrix and only with statistics and stuff, like it dims your power, dumbs down your light. And that's what the world trained you to be. So my invitation to myself and you today is how can you light it the fuck up? How can you bring more of you to this planet? We need more of you. We need more of your spirit, your soul, your fire, your power. What turns you on? What lights you up? Which, by the way, I'll speak for myself. Back in my 20s, when I was so wrapped up in striving, achievement, trying to be good enough, trying to make enough money, and you need all those things, right? Like you got to be able to support yourself, like all those things. Like that's obviously we live in a 3D matrix reality in which physicality is part of our life experience, but you are a spirit in a human body, a human avatar body, having an experience. You are God, life, infinite intelligence, breathing through you, as you, with you, experiencing life, co-creating life with you. When we leave spirituality out of the equation, life gets really fucked up, and I'll be the first to tell you. I don't know what your beliefs are, but you can take that for what you will, whether you believe in God, universe, source, Allah, mother nature, infinite intelligence, something. What beats my heart beats your heart. What birthed me and divided my cells and created me and breathes life into me, created universes, grows plants, right? So think about that there's so much more to you than what we were told. And so if you're feeling like you're feeling a bit stuck or crunchy, do know that energetically closing out the year of the snake, which ends technically on February 17th, we enter the year of the fire horse, which hasn't been around in 60 years, according to Chinese astrology and the energetics behind that. This brings in a whole new life, a whole new life force for you. Again, it's not giving your power away to, the energies of the year tell me I have to be this. No, no, no. It's just about paying attention to energetics and the flow of life. There's an energetic force that is brewing. A lot of people are talking about the year of the fire horse. So there's energy behind it. You are the sovereign power within you. Nothing can control you, your power, who you are. You have your thoughts, your feelings, your actions. You have everything you need to create the reality you want. When we start getting distracted with outside forces, giving our power away, abdicating our power, believing that we're weaker than something else, then that will create a reality and a narrative and you'll start to reflect that in your 3D reality. When you come back to center, come back to what lights you up, come back to your true power, where the thoughts, where focus goes, energy flows. Where you put your focused attention is going to expand. Your attention is one of the greatest currencies. That's why you'll notice certain medias, social medias, news medias, will operate in a way that grab your attention. There's a reason for that, right? Energy flows where focus goes. Be very mindful of where you put your focus. And if you're feeling stuck or crunchy, you're probably shedding old parts of yourself as we're ending the year of the snake energetically and stepping into the year of the horse, which I know for me, come the new year, I started feeling this fire, this new energy, 2025 was like a culmination of a lot of things of healing for me internally, and a lot of clients I worked with, a lot of friends. Like there was a lot of like identity shifts, death, disconnection, shadows coming to the surface, not to overtake you, but to be loved, to be healed, to be integrated. So if you were experiencing any of those things, that's okay. You're right on time, you're right on track. Really the biggest thing to do, and as we close out the last 14 days of the year of the snake, energetically, so to speak, because again, every day is a new day for you to birth and decide who you are. It's not like you have to wait for something to change or outside forces are controlling you. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there is energetic momentum. The moon influences the tides of the water. You're like 80% water. There's energetics, magnetism, gravity, things that pull. When people have a lot of energy around something, around sporting events, politics, a topic or a situation, when there's a lot of energy, negative or positive, there's energetic momentum that can influence you if you're not grounded in your power. So my invitation to you is, who were you before life told you who you need to be? Contemplate that today. Decide, feel into it, flirt with it. And as I'm going to continue journaling, where I am discovering all the things that I kind of wrote off. Like, no, I loved He-Man and She-Ra, Masters of the Universe. I loved creating. I loved designing. I loved graphics. I loved playing. I loved life. And any of you who ever saw the movie Soul, drop a comment below if you ever saw that movie Soul by Disney. Disney's freaking genius, or maybe it was Pixar. But that movie is extraordinary. And it's about a spirit trying to figure out who she is or who they are. And it all boiled down to just their love of life. And that was me. Like, I loved living before life told me that anything else. Let's see. Daniel says everything is energy. He-Man and She-Ra. Yes. Oh my gosh. Totally, Daniel. Like, that was my jam. And what I realized is that I got so obsessed with energy as I got older. I didn't make the connection till today, till someone asked me the question, who were you before life told you who you needed to be? As a child, as a beautiful, innocent spirit child, who were you? What did you love? Where did you put your energy? What did you dwell in? I designed fashion and I created things, and I loved being with friends. I loved being with myself. I felt very powerful. I had a lot of creative energy and like attraction. I was like, I didn't have the boys is icky phase when I was young. I like loved boys when I was like 3. So I skipped that phase completely. So there was a lot of that creative energy. And as we're entering into the year of the fire horse on February 17th, really start to contemplate, allow whatever wants to shed these last 14 days, or whenever you're watching this message will be timeless too. If you're catching me on Facebook, Instagram, or watching it on YouTube, because I'll put it up on YouTube. Whenever you're watching this, it's timeless, because any given moment you can decide and declare who you choose to be. And while the energies might be playing out on a specific date, the energy that you're receiving this is the perfect time. Allow yourself to shed what needs to be shed, old identities, relationships, situations. Cleanse your physical reality, your digital reality. For those of you watching, I'm doing a whole program called Unbridled. It's for the woman who wants to connect back to her fire and magic. If you're a man and want to join, come join us. It's fine. But it really is about connecting to the truth of who you are and liberating yourself, releasing any of the shackles and the moments in your life where you've pretzeled yourself, you've dimmed your light, you shut down your sparkle because you didn't feel good enough, or you felt like ashamed, or you felt like you were too big. There's so many of us right now existing where we know we feel big as fuck. Like we feel like there's a power and a light and a voice that's undescribable and undeniable and inevitable, but yet we've felt like, well, we'll be judged. So there's visibility wounds there. There's people pleasing and perfectionism there. There's lack of self-trust that's showing up. Again, it's all designed to help come up to the surface so that you can love those parts of you. So drop a comment below. Who were you when you were younger? Like, who were you before the world told you who you meant you needed to be? What did you love? What did you dwell in? And my invitation to you is on February 14th, 15th, and 16th. I'm leading a live masterclass for free for any woman who really wants to connect back to her magic, her fire, and ultimately her turn on and desire, and to finally start trusting herself again. So this is going to be a lot about identity work and self-trust. Please make sure you're following me, like these videos wherever you're watching it from. Share this video, and I'll drop the link to enroll in Unbridled is the name of the program. Unbridled, release the reins and rise as her. This is where we're really going to connect back to your intuition, your self-trust, and have an action plan by the end of those 3 days. So it starts on Valentine's Day, 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And we'll go each day, 10 a.m. on the 14th, 10 a.m. on the 15th. And then I think I have it set for 5 p.m. Mountain Time on that Monday. It concludes on the 16th, setting you up for going into the year of the fire horse on the 17th, which is the Chinese New Year. And we'll be celebrating New Year. All right, my love. I hope this helped. Please share this video, and I'll see you in the next live. Bye.